Alrighty, teddy folks. I'm back. I'm back in the chair. Again. I'm back. Ho ho. Heart de heart. You know, the battery in my phone has been dying a lot faster recently. Kind of annoying. I think it's about at the end of its life. Which means I need to find either somewhere to replace the battery, because I really don't want to deal with this glued on glass nonsense, or find the money to get another device. So first thing we're going to do is the first thing I've been doing the past couple of days. Whenever we start the stream up, I am going to send the alert that my stream is live to the group chat that I set up. Oh, the frame is... I mean, that's really close, though. Like, that's really close. That parallax. Huh. They've got nearly the same, that. Also, apologies for being late. I open my eyes. I look at the clock. It's like, 0800, 0815, something like that. And oops. I'm like, I can lay here for like 10 minutes or so. So I do. I lay there for 10 minutes or so. Oops. I pushed the wrong thing. On copy, not paste. Oops. Anyway, I lay there for like 10 minutes or so. And then I look at the clock again. It's 10:30. Like, what? So, to do the toilet, I'm going to need putty. So do the toilet. Oh, that's on there. Man, that's on there. Woo. Alright, let me get back over here real quick. We're gonna grab her hand dandy. Whatchamacallit. Okay. Looking at our printer there. Wow. There we go. That came off a little bit less eventful than I thought it might. That seam is strange. So the seam, I don't know if the camera's not going to pick it up, is it? Need better lighting. Anyway, the seam is not straight. It goes up some distance, rotates, goes up a distance, rotates again back the other way, back the same way it came from, and then continues up. And it looks like this would be the same distance, the same rotation, then there is definitely a line in the layers at that height. So I did print this thing solid. Now this is the, I don't remember what the heck the thing's called. So in the back of the toilet, whenever the water turns on in the tank, what you get is the main fill to fill the tank, and then you get that secondary water stream that drains down through the tube into the bowl. I'm not entirely sure what that's for. Maybe it's to fill the bowl up completely. Maybe when it flushes, it's unreliable the way that it fills. I don't know, but the one of my roommate's toilet is broken. The only way to replace it, apparently, is to buy the whole valve assembly. Well, I don't want to replace the whole valve assembly. That just sounds boring. Why don't we do something different? Let's print the tube. So I did. I've got a couple other things that I want to get going today. The mic stand is one of those. The drink can dispenser is gonna be a little bit of doing because it's gonna require cutting in half, and I feel like I got like a spider web or something. Funny, just a little tiny hair. Anyway, drink dispenser is going to take a little bit of doing, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of heat this corner up. Overheat a bit. Heat it up and it should come off a little bit easier, right? One would hope. Because the brim is not coming off the bed easily. Using an ABS slurry to adhere it to the bed works great. By extremely adhering it to the bed. Let's see if that's warm enough. Yeah, because I'll show you guys that like ring there. That's actually a ring of material. ABS, to be precise. Which I don't remember what ABS stands for. What is it? Acetyl-butyl styrene? Something like that? Yeah. And we kind of need him off of there. So we can do other jobs. Yeah. Yep. So what I want to do is, guess while that's heating up. So I have a problem. See? I need to put stuff on an SD card. Actually, not really a problem. Okay, I'll just move the mouse dingly dungly. So, boop. Also, did anybody get the description? Come with me, and you will be In a world of pure and utter boredom. Come on. It's a thing. It's a thing that people sing. Somebody did. That we do. It's funny. I record that. I need to set up the frickin' soundboard on this laptop in OBS. That's what I needed to do today, honestly. Brucia Sicer. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, so you go away. We're gonna go back to. I mean, I've already got the ABS loaded. Can I just print the stuff in ABS? I think I'm just gonna print it in ABS. Screw it. We've already got the ABS loaded. I don't have that much PLA left, and it's kind of old. So I don't know if it'll work good or not. But we can. Print cam mic stand. Copy. Paste. Cam mic stand. Bring both of those into Prusa. Oh, it's outside the build area. Your mom's outside the build area. Okay, so... What? What? Oh. Why are you doing that? Shut up. Okay. Lots of weird. So, apparently it wanted to bring it in as a single piece. So, we need to do this. I want to print him exactly just like that. And then I'm going to paint supports. Because I noticed Prusa likes painted supports a lot better for some reason. Brush that. Kind of like that. Yeah. And then... Oh, that's the thing I need for the soundboard. And then... Okay. Now I need this guy here. Yeah, who cares, guy? Shut up. See, so I wonder... If you have a part overhanging another part that is part of a different part, does it matter? Cut. Yeah. Cut it exactly right there. What? What? What do you mean? Go away! Jesus. I want you to... Okay, fine. Cut. We just want 2 of those anyway. No, we don't, because we don't want the screw holes. That means I have to put another one in here. Okay, we're going to cut this one. And we're going to keep only the upper part. And then we're going to rotulate. Oh yeah. Where's the place flat? Place flat. Place flat. Place flat. Okay. Now, look at that, look at that. Yeah. Look at that, look at that. Kind of like that. What happens if we do that? Slice now. I want to try to do these angled bits without supports. What do I want to try to do? Oh, I also need to change infill to 40%. Also, give me just a moment. I will be right back. Graben ein Kabel. Das ist Deutsch, no? Okay. Okay. That's kind of warm. Fill you. Wow. Like a pot holder. Freaking warm. Also going to see if I can't get my old schematic designer thing. I might just use false stat to come up with a circuit. So I'm not designing a PCB, so I don't need Eagle to do that. Wow. Coming up slowly. I think that's all of it. Then $5 as my roommate comes out here in just a couple of minutes and starts bitching about a smell. Alright, now acetone has a boiling temperature of 56 degrees Celsius. So what I need to do, turn the bed off, because it is 80 degrees Celsius. Okay, now, Prusha, what we need to do, infill. I think I want cubic. Cubic's pretty good for an infill. Top and bottom fill patterns. Concentric works pretty good for that. The bottom, I think I want rectilinear. And then we want a brim. Don't know that it needs to be 20. Let's do 10 millimeters. Because they're going to combine, so I'll have the combined hold down force of all three of the parts. And then support material. So they're going to do supports where I painted, so I don't care about any of that. Speed should be fine. Don't have multiple extruders. Extrusion width. I think I might increase that. We're going to go with 0.42, which should still be within the 0.45 should be the max, like, safe extrusion width for a 0.3 mil nozzle. I generally do 3.4 to 3.8, depending on kind of what I'm doing. Just because I like the little bit more control that you get with the slightly lower extrusion width. What I noticed is that if you put it right at the, like, 1.5 times your nozzle size kind of standard recommendation, you start to get a little bit of inconsistency sometimes, especially with like wet filaments, older filaments that might have moisture in them. So I make it a little bit smaller to try to keep the consistency a little bit higher in the output. And that might just be a this printer thing, I don't know. But I've noticed it makes it a little bit more consistent. We don't really care so much today. What else do I want? I think we're going to turn him up just a smooch. Just to be safe. I still need to do, like, bridging tests and all that stuff. I don't have, like, everything set up. So okay, so we're doing this. That's a neat pattern. Concentric around multiple points. I guess it's not concentric, is it? Did I do concentric on the top? I did concentric. Yeah, I did concentric on the top for this. So what we're gonna do, I don't know what the overhang of each of these layers is, and I don't guess we need that much infill. We could probably go with a little less. Go 25. Yeah, that much infill, that's how much we need. That's probably better. It's not like it's holding a whole lot of weight. Just gonna be the camera and the mic. And then, yeah, when these are done in 16 hours, you print this, I glue this surface to this surface, and that surface to that surface. I mean, the only way to find out is to give it a little old testaroo there and there. Gotta wait for the bed to cool off. It's still 56, so I gotta wait for the bed to cool off for another few minutes. And then I can take the acetone and do the thing to the thing. The thing. The thing. 57. Guess I can start preparating. I might get the brush down to the bed. Actually, I'll tell you what. You guys might be interested in this. But what we're gonna do, Shane? Yeah. We're gonna put you on clearance, Shane. So, got us a brush, some ABS dissolved in acetone. Paint it on. Nice little thin layer. All across the bed there. Then, what I need to do is I actually need to, because it doesn't go down smooth the first time, especially when the bed's still kind of warm, and evaporates really, really quickly. Acetone evaporates very, very quickly. So we come in here. Just grab some acetone. And we can smooth some of this stuff out a little bit. I should really be wearing a respirator for this. Oops. I then also have to reset the nozzle height, because I've just added material to the my roommate's making a bunch of noise. Oh, but I've now added. It's drippity drippity, drippity drippity. No drippity drippity. Acetone all over half my hand. All right, now we're going to. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. What am I doing? Yeah, what's interesting is it didn't disconnect last night, the USB. I got the errors. Let's see how many errors there are. How many errors are there? For this log, just those. Interesting. I've got a little bit of a resonant problem. The Z-axis. Kind of annoying, actually. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to check. Yep. Just go down just a smooch. Here. Up just a smooch, actually. Here. Down just a smooch. Here. Fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So our nozzle is now on average. That's the key, on average. 0.15 millimeters above the bed plus the ABS layer, the lumpy ABS layer. There is probably a way I could make that smooth, but I don't want to. I think what I want is I want the ABS layer on the front bed to be slightly lumpy. Itchy. Hate itchy nose. Hate it so much. Yay. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is I've got this guy. I need to switch from this mouse. Pull the dingly dangly dongly out. Use the trackpad. And I need to export this code. I'm going to put it in there. Oh, which will not be used. I didn't have... There we go. Okay. I didn't have that enabled. Gotcha. Well, it's a good thing I actually decided to read that instead of ignoring the warning like I normally do. Okay. We don't need you. We don't need... Oh, that's fine. What I need is this guy and G codely codes. We're gonna capitally copy. We're gonna put it on the SD cardly card. Bam, done. And we're going to eject the card. And we're going to put the card in the thing. And then I'm going to put my mousy mouse back in the USB port there. And I come back into Repeteer. And we're going to move the Z-axis up while we enable the heaters. So once this starts going, since I don't have any way to seal ein tube to ein toilet, it's just going to sit there. And I'm going to go what am I going to do? I'm going to have to sit here for the first little bit anyway. So I'll tell you what I am going to do. I should probably also design a little cable, you're in the way. We don't need two webcams looking at the same ugly face. We can do that. What I should probably also design is like a mount on the laptop for the mic. I can take that one that I've already made, chop that last rectangle off, and then I could print it out of TPU, because the cold shoe doesn't need to be super rigid, because the mic's not that heavy. So I could print it out of TPU, probably on its side, Because I'm thinking have a little thing with fingers that stick out that'll just wrap around the edge of the laptop bezel, monitor bezel. And I don't want to make it out of something super rigid because if I hit the mic or something, I don't want it to damage the monitor. I'd rather have the mic fall off than the monitor get broken again. Since I no longer have an OEM monitor in this thing, in my $1,200 laptop, which kind of irritates the crap out of me, honestly. It was fine. It was fine. And my roommate decides he wants to walk by it. Like, somewhere that he never goes. He wants to go somewhere that he didn't go. He didn't even do the thing that he wanted to do when he walked by it. He walks by it, not paying attention, knocks it off the freaking thing, and the monitor was half closed with the mouse on the keypad, and he goes to try to catch it. If he'd let it hit the floor, it probably would have been fine. But he goes to try to catch it, and he just smacks the monitor down onto the mouse. Yeah. Not often is it that I worry about changing parts, but this monitor is not the OEM monitor. It looks different. It feels different. It is definitely a different part, and it irritates me. So what I want to do, I have a I want to go to Fallstat real quick. What? That's why I know that name. Huh. Alright, so what I need to do I need to have so we're going to put a ground down first. And then we're going to put the 2.5. I'm not going to worry about the resistor divider. I know how to make a resistor divider. Not going to worry about it. What I am going to do is I'm going to put this down. And then the max we see out of that's 5 volts. And then I need, I think it's 50 milliamps. Let's account for 100 milliamps. So I need at least a 50 ohm resistor. So if I put 1K, that's 5 milliamps. So what I need to kind of figure out is a way to figure out a way to be able to hit a switch and bypass the B6 and put it back to a voltage divider. Oh. Printer's about warmed up. Clean our goopity goops off the nozzle there. And about a minute or so it'll start. Nice. Yeah, so I need to figure out a method of switching that, because I want I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm actually gonna move you over here. Make you a little bit smaller. This is what I need. I need to be able to push a button. That puts 2.5 volts on that pin. I'm going to need to bypass. What? Not putting a brim around the supports. It's not including the brim around the supports. Lovely jubbly. Whatever. So what I need it to do, push a button, and I need it to apply 2.5 volts. So maybe I just have the button. I have a resistor divider on board from 5 volts to ground. It just gives me 2.5 volts. Then I have a wire that just comes out of the ECU. That'd be 2 wires technically. 2 wires that come out of the ECU. Not even that. Well, no, because it's got to be, the voltage divider's got to, it can't be in the ECU, because if the ECU fails, that's the part I need to swap and make the OEM ECU work again with, it has to be on the harness. It has to be part of the harness. So I need, yeah, I guess I don't do anything. I guess I just have one ECU that is the OEM. So I put that resistor divider back in it, or let's go check. Let's go check that. I need to disconnect the printer first. Which, pulling the cable and repetier just like completely craps out the, the program. It does not like that. I thought they said they fixed that in the update notes. Anyway, as long as it continues printing, I don't care. So USB extension. I'm gonna grab. Wow, this is a full current port on a laptop. Did not know that. Okay, gotta grab the mic. Stick the mic'ly mic on here. USB extension could just go over there, it's fine. So I need to go check that other ECU real quick. So you guys can come with me. Assuming I can untangle all these freaking cables. So let's take a short little field trip into the garage. And we will see what we can see with our eyeballs. Because I guess I just do actually need one OEM ECU. Okay. Here we are back in your guys' favorite place, the garage. That's weird. Alright, so this one... Oh, okay. Never mind then. The chip burning ECU, I had a feeling this was going to be the case. The ECU that I was using to do chip burning back in ye olden days, but I actually did a far better job of chipping than I did the other ECU. This one is in quite much good very shape, and it's still got those three resistors right there, which are the B6 input line voltage divider resistors. Okay. That's exactly what I needed to know. So I have an OEM ECU. I'm not going to worry about putting a switch in there on the harness to make sure that I can put an OEM ECU back in it after modifying things. If I stick the OEM ECU back in with the voltage divider, the B6 input will not have any bearing on the tune, the OEM tune. So, it's fine. A whole problem that I didn't even have. It's fine. I guess what, well, I want to watch this do a couple of passes. That's what I want to do. I want to watch the printer do a couple of passes. So let's give you guys some of that too. There you go, 3D printer. And I tell you what, since I put the silent drivers in, oh boy, this thing is quiet. It's like creepy quiet. When I first got this printer, it's a, you know, kind of a cheapy printer. It's a $400 printer. So it's one of those guys that it's one step above building yourself, right? So this is a pre-built guy. When they shipped it with the main beam disconnected and laid down, but like everything was connected. All you had to do was pick it up, put the screws in, done. No alignment, no, like, none of that necessary. So since we've had this, I'm not going to say it's been nothing but trouble, because it has given me some decent outputs, some okay outputs, but it hasn't been exactly what I've wanted it to be, kind of since we've got it, just because when you buy a thing, in this type of market, okay, and we bought this years ago. I'm not talking the current state of the economy type of market. I'm talking the type of market that exists for this type of product. So when you buy a thing that is at the bottom end of a market, there are certain expectations you have. One of those is that you're gonna have to play with it. You're gonna have to futz with it. It's not gonna be just a direct. It's not gonna be necessarily a turnkey solution, right? When you buy at near the bottom end of a market, it's almost never a turnkey solution. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it is. You go on Facebook, you get on Craigslist, whatever. You're like, hey, I'm looking for this thing, and someone's like, oh yeah, I've got one, and I just upgraded, and I just want to get rid of my original for a little bit of money. Like I want, because there's a whole other thing for that too. Is when you're selling something, if you're just getting rid of it, and you're like, hey, I don't want it anymore, and you try to give it away, you get wackadoos coming out. Like, for whatever reason, the very low cost and the free stuff attracts the wackadoos more than, actually putting a price of what something's worth on it. Don't ask me why. But the expectation when I bought this is that I would have to do some futzing. I've had to do a lot of futzing. The first year was an old version of Cura. It wasn't old at the time. Obviously, it was the newest version that existed when I got the printer. I didn't use any Cubic's recommended one because their variant of Cura was kind of stripped down and bare bones. There was a bunch of settings missing. So getting Z ringing, not Z ringing, X ringing. All right. I'm getting ringing in the X-axis. Tiny bit in Y, probably because I've got it going too fast, honestly. But it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Anyway, back to the Cura thing. So I had Cura, it was like, I don't know, 1.8 or 2.14 or something like that. It was the new everywhere version. So just Cura, not a branded version. Because I think Anycubic was using an Ultimaker version of Cura. Like their stripped down version for their printers. That had a bunch of settings like preset, but the Anycubics weren't Ultimakers, so it didn't really work all that well. We just lose internet? One way to find out. Oh, cables and cords and twisted and... Okay, so we're still live. Yeah, where was I? Talking about Cura. Anyway, long story short, since I keep getting distracted and can't get to the point, I had one version of Cura, and I got some things printed, and they printed fine, but there were some issues. So, did a little bit of research, and found a beta that was the Arachne engine, I guess the first version of Cura with the Arachne engine. So I found it, and that was like 2.6 or 2.8. something like that. And still got it laying around here somewhere, because apparently I'm a software hoarder. And it worked great, and I learned a lot of things with that version of Cura that I needed to know to be able to do this more effectively and faster. That's the key, doing it faster. Because I was having little prints at 13 hours, right? And I don't even remember like how I had them doing that. I don't know. Maybe I had the speeds turned down way too low or something. I could probably go back and find an old profile and do some investigating. I don't know. Anyway, used the Arachne Cura beta for a couple of years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and then I got to my last job talking to a guy who that's what his job is. That's what he does for a living, is additive manufacturing, and that's his thing. And he not convinced, but as we were talking, he was talking about some of the features that Prusa had, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be very helpful. So I made the switch to Prusa about a year ago, and haven't really done a whole lot with it. I did, when I made the switch, I went through, I learned all the settings, I figured out where most of the stuff was. I still have to search sometimes for settings because I forget where they're at, but I figured out most of the program, figured out how to use it, figured out the UI, and honestly, I like Prusa a lot better than Cura. Dark mode. Nobody likes light mode. Nobody uses white mode. Anybody that likes their eyeballs, at least. Nobody worth their salt in existence uses light mode. I don't know why it even exists these days. Everything should be dark mode. Give me programming. Give me the DOS. But since I started using Prusa, everything goes smoother and faster. And when I need to make changes, I make them smoother and faster. I don't even know where the heck I was going with that in the first place. What I need is some people to come join the chat. That's what I need. Because this part's boring. I just need to sit here and stare at it for the next, 20 minutes. 20 minutes of me just, I don't know. I look over every now and then. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys about ordering the resistors for the ECU. Good stuff, good stuff. So, I ordered the resistors so that I can turn the B6 input into a secondary intake temperature sensor, the pre-filter intake temperature sensor. That'll let me know how much heating I'm getting at different times. Primarily what I'm interested in is idle and engine off heat soak. So you shut the engine off, you go in the store, you know what you need, you grab it, you buy it, you come back out, you hop in the car, and the OEM newer stuff uses 2 intake temperature sensors actually. Well, they use an ambient temperature sensor and then an intake temperature sensor, or mass airflow, which suffices as an intake temperature sensor. Some vehicles even have MAF and MAP and IAT combined for fine tuning stuff. Anyway, but you run in the store real quick, you come back out, you turn the key on. What's going to have happened is you're going to have hot air running into the engine as soon as you crank it. So you kind of need to know that hot air, right? But, ooh, there's not going to be a delay on that. We're going to have to fiddle with it. But as soon as you start it, you suck all that hot air through, within 5 or 10 milliseconds. And now you're at whatever the temperature of the outside air is, plus the total heat, the total thermal energy that can be absorbed by air over X period of time through however long your intake tract is, and that period of time is going to change based on the length of your total intake tract length from the place where it enters the tract, so the air box inlet, to the intake valve. Technically, to the point where it hits the piston and the intake valve closes. That's how much thermal energy will be added to the intake charge. Intake charge. So, with older vehicles, especially, older Hondas and stuff, where the intake temperature sensor is on the manifold, but because it's physically mounted to the manifold, you get heat soak in the sensor, which means the sensor, you start the engine, and the sensor will read 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 or 10 seconds because they're slow to update, especially encapsulated intake temperature sensors. They're quite slow to update. So what you'll do is on a fresh, hot start, a lot of times, even the stock Hondas, they would run lean for the first 10-15 seconds, which is, you're at idle and you're probably not flooring it, so not really a huge deal in the Hondas, because they can run to like 17 or 18 to 1 before they start, and they can run to lambda like 1.2 or 1.3 before you start running into any major issues. Actually, what is that? Because I've seen things, and I'm not there yet. I'm not to the point where I'm doing lean burn tuning. Actually, technically I am. I'm done with the tune. So now I can go back through it and do lean burn tuning. The problem with that is I need to figure out, I don't know if Neptune will allow me to set up I guess I'd have to do it manually and turn off closed loop. I don't know. I gotta look at, see if I can't make closed loop give me lean burn. Which, yeah, I guess it could. If I'm going to be bringing in the wideband, I can set closed loop to the wideband input. Because changing it the way I'm going to be changing it, adding that 1K resistor in and cutting RM2's pins 4 and 5, the wideband input will be more reliable. It hasn't been reliable in the past. That's why I haven't used it. Anyway, I'm doing math. I'm at 14.7. So, yeah, 1.2, 1.3 lambda. Well, that first layer's not looking great. Bring the bed down. Just a smooch. Because we're talking, 0.05 millimeters that we need to move here. We're just getting the bottom, We're just getting the bottom fill in right now. And it's not critical. I have, I don't even remember. Go look at the number. Bottom layers, where are they at? Layers. Solid layers, 3. So I have 3 solid layers on top and bottom. Which, at a 0.15 layer height, I should probably do more than that, honestly. I should probably do more than that. But it's already running. YOLO, bro. That moment when you realize that you started saying bro as making fun of people that say bro all the time, and then you realize that now you're just one of those people that says bro all the time. There's a meme about that. I don't tend to actually say it with my face. I'll type it, but I don't say bro, I say bruv. Like a Brit. Just bruv. And I could probably, honestly, turn off, since I increased the speed, I could probably turn off, I have Z-Hop turned on. I don't remember turning Z-Hop on. What? When did I turn Z-Hop on? Advanced? Is it advanced? Not advanced? Filament settings, maybe? We're gonna search. We're gonna search for hop. No. Cancel. Search. What's Z-Hop called in Prussia? Let's find out. Prussia Z-Hop setting. Yes, seeing. Vertical lift. That's probably what it is. Vertical lift. Ah, retraction lift Z. Yeah. Cancel. So it's in the retraction heading. Where is the retraction heading exactly? Okay. I guess I'm just gonna search for it. Oh, it's in printer settings. Okay. Well, that's why I couldn't find it. It wasn't actually in material or extruder settings, or plate settings, as Prussia calls it. It was in printer settings, the machine settings. This thing's like a Chinese finger trap almost. It's like just the right size for my fat fingers. And the first layer looks like it's going down pretty good. What I'm mostly concerned about, so it's giving the support its own first layer instead of adding the brim to the support's first layer. That's a bit weird. I would prefer it to have just a brim across the outside of everything combined if the brims are close enough to intersect. But it's not done that. It's funny. I think the first layer is going down good. What we want to do now is we want to go out and we want to check the VDUP. That's what we want to do. So, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go out we're going to hook up the scanner, and I'm going to fiddle around with the data logging for a few minutes. So you guys can come with me while I do that. Let's go check the log. It's log, it's log, it's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's better than bad, it's good. Everyone loves the log. What you guys know about that? You don't know nothing about no Sten and Rimpy. Flynn and Gimpy. The hell are those guys' names again? It's funny because I never actually watched Ren and Stimpy as a kid. I always thought it was just gross. It just the whole thing was just creepy and gross, like butt boils and puke and hair. And bleh. Who needs that? Okay, I need to get. Okay, so what we're gonna do actually is we're gonna move you guys up so you're not looking at my nipples. I said the word. So we're just going to open the garage door and we're going to walk around outside. I think my glasses are in my room. Sunglasses, because it is a little bright outside. I would be wrong for thinking that though, apparently. I guess they're in the garagey still. Oh man. I need image stabilization on this freaking camera. Wonder if there's an image stabilization filter that you can add to like OBS. Now that cold front left real fast, didn't it? It's not that chilly out here. It's actually really nice. It's a very nice day. Very nice day. Yeah, there's sunglasses. Okay. So now, I'm so glad I could make you guys portable now. It sparks joy. Okay. Let us hop in the V-dub. I'm going to sit you guys. Oh. On the seat there. I'm actually going to start recording because I want to add this sort of debug stuff to the video about this car that I have been filming. Little snippets, little like 10, 15, 20, 30 second snippets I have been filming. Alright, now this scanner is kind of old. Probably 2012? Why did you do that? Better. But even being 2012, when smartphones were a thing, they were already a thing. Oh, and my roommate still has my keys because he's a weeb. I'll just text him and let him know that. Boop. Click the thing before it freezes up on me. So, we got our handy dandy scanner here. It's got a bunch of different types of definitions. We've got a blank white screen with some words on it. Yeah, well, I got some of those. Huh? Actually, I could probably move. Probably move you guys somewhere You can see, oh, tape stuck. Come on. I also didn't bring the extension cord for the USB. Can we stick you like? Gotta roll the window down because it's actually hot as a thing in here. Huh. Didn't we get a replacement switch for that guy? Alright. So, we're gonna move you somewhere where I can hold the camera more easily. Sorry for the funny business there. So now, and that's backwards. Stand by. Damn it. There. Alright, so in here, so we've got definitions for vehicles, OEM specific codes, up to 2014 on this guy in particular, which is you buy it and then you get like 1 or 2 years of code definitions that comes with it, and you can update it like once without buying a license or something, and we did that. So it's pretty sure this thing goes up to 2014. But we come into VW. We got the key on. I don't know why the heck. We're going to come into systems, control unit, common, because I know it's going to be in common, auto trans. So what we've been getting is engine maximum RPM exceeded codes. And we've been seeing a couple of times now, when you shift from reverse into drive, what we're ending up getting is a big spike in the engine speed being read by the transmission computer. So first thing we're going to do, every time, read codes, no codes, lovely jubbly. We're then going to go to custom list, because live data doesn't actually work correctly for VDubs on this Maxidas. So engine speed, there's a couple of engine speeds, and there's 2 different ones. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find the other engine speeds, and we're going to add them to the list. There's like 3 or 4 of them. 3 of them. Okay. And last time I was in here, there is 1 engine speed that is different. Okay, so what I want to do right now is, I had this thought last night. What if it has nothing to do with actual engine speed? What if the issue is something to do with the shifter and the transmission computer? So, okay, I accidentally hit the power button when I did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift into reverse. Make sure the parking brake's on. Shift into neutral. Drive. Okay, so there's nothing changing there. So it's not that. That's perfect. Then what I want to do is we want to start the engine, and I want to see, look at those. These 2 are the same. This one is different. Well, maybe it's an update rate thing. Nope, no, they're the same. Okay, so it's an update rate thing. Okay. But what I want to do now is I want to see if it's straight. When you go into drive, does it do it? Well, now it's not going to do it at all. Interesting. Well, there goes that idea. Maybe it's too warm. What I've noticed is it seems to do it on cold days, and today is not a cold day by any means. Today is a very nice day, actually. So what I'm going to do real quick is, we're not in limp mode. I'm going to drive it and see if it'll go into limp mode. No, I'm not, because doing that will disconnect the stream, actually. Because I don't think my Wi-Fi extends down to the stop sign. Okay. So, we're not going to do that. It didn't do the thing anyway, so I don't think it's going to. But, it is, for sure, the transmission computer complaining about max engine RPM exceeded, causing a limp mode condition. You know, what's going to be affected on a... If it is, oh man, I am going to laugh my rear end off. I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him. We're going to turn the brightness up on my screen. And now I'm going to call him. No.
Yes.
So a thought occurs. So you know electronics, you know, a little bit. You know one or two things about electronics, I think. Wow, FedEx is parked literally in the center of the road. Actually, he's parked 10% off to the wrong side of the road.
Nice.
Like, if somebody else needs to drive down the road, guy, what then?
Wait a couple seconds.
I mean, yeah, obviously that's what you're going to do. Have you met other members of your country and your species?
Yeah.
Are they going to do that?
Doesn't matter to me. I'm not the one doing it.
Which is why he parked on the wrong side of the road. Exactly that. Anyway, so riddle me this, okay? So we've talked about some car things in the past, so you have a little bit of background to some of the knowledge I have, right? So
Yeah.
Volkswagen seems to only go into limp mode when it's very cold. Like 50 and below kind of cold. That's not very, but you know, Amanda, very cold.
Below freezing.
Below freezing. Below freezing for small girls that have no body mass.
I mean, below freezing to warm.
So, the first thing that comes to mind, very, very cold, is what exactly? Thinking about just electronics deployed in the field.
Okay.
What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think cold electronics that can cause issues?
Vacuum tube?
If this were the 1940s, perhaps. Cold solder joints.
Yeah, obviously.
First thing that comes to mind is just cold solder joints. Okay, well, we checked for some of those. We didn't find any. Okay, so then we go on to the next thing. We're like, okay, what's the next thing that can be affected by cold? Generally, it's not connectors, but you can get like wire corrosion, like we were talking about the other day. Right? So when it's cold, a corroded wire that is mostly broken can break and separate. You lose connection, but it doesn't do that. It doesn't not work at all when it's cold. It just sort of does a wrong thing when it's cold. So it's probably not a corroded or broken wire somewhere, especially since it doesn't do it when you're driving high vibration. Once the thing starts to warm up, it's fine.
Right.
Okay, so now that we have the once it starts to warm up, it's fine kind of thing in our heads, what changes when the engine starts to warm up? Like, what things are changing?
Liquid's heating up, metal's expanding.
Right. The electronics and the computers will warm up, right?
water's unfreezing?
Well, it's not just when it's freezing, because it'll do it when it's in the 40s.
40s? I haven't had it do it before.
Yeah? I did it the other day, and it was like 48.
Okay.
It's not just when water freezes that it does, it's just cold.
Not directly related to water freezing.
No.
So, things that warm up.
What's something that warms up very quickly on start? Like within a minute or two.
I don't know.
I have an end goal. I'm trying to like walk you through the process of how I got there.
No, I understand what you're trying to do.
So
I'm
it's
not sure.
it's not going to be the transmission. It's always confused me why the transmission goes into limp mode. Okay, keeping in mind that sentence, the transmission goes into limp mode on a cold morning, and then after a minute or so, like 30 seconds to a minute, you shut it off. You cycle the key a bunch of times to clear the code, soft clear the code, and then you start it up, and it's fine, and it works the rest of the day.
Right.
Why would the transmission go into limp mode and then come out of limp mode if you've only driven about, 500 feet? There's no heat in the transmission at that point. There's no heat anywhere in the transmission. So it's got to be something somewhere else that does get heat. Things that get heat immediately are like the exhaust. The exhaust gets hot real fast because it's exhaust. It's burning air. Another part that gets hot real fast is something with a rotating magnetic field, which causes inductive heating.
Okay.
What part might that be? It's off the top of your head.
It's inductive heating?
Yeah.
Well, the pistons generate heat, correct?
Yeah, but they're not magnets.
No. The clutch?
Well, you have a multi-stage wet clutch like a motorcycle, so no. It's going to be soaked in the cold ATF. It's not going to warm up until you've driven 20 or 30 miles. What's a part that's bolted to the engine that contains a rotating magnetic field?
I don't know. Oh, the alternator.
Uh-huh. What do we know about German callers and alternators, specifically?
They're fucky.
Reference, please. Chrysler Pacifica SUV pre-minivan. That one that I told you about. I was just looking at the data, looking at the engine speed. So what I wanted to try, I had an idea last night. I wanted to try. So I turn the key on, connect the computer, shift into reverse, shift into neutral, shift into drive, and see if just the shifter, like the multifunction switch, was failed internally somehow and sending like a little pulse into the circuitry that was feeding back in, like, cross-talking to other stuff that it really should not be doing because it shouldn't be sending that signal in the first place. So I was like, what if it's something like, I'm going like, I'm going way out in left field here trying to figure this fucking thing out.
Right, because it's fucking weird.
It is weird. So like, I try it with the key on, but engine off, nothing. The RPM doesn't move at all, straight flat line 0 like you'd expect. Okay, so it's not the multifunction switch doing some like inductive weirdness. So then I start the engine in neutral instead of park, thinking, well, maybe it's a reverse to neutral thing. So I shift neutral to drive, nothing. Back up to reverse, nothing. Drive, nothing. Okay, well, it's probably not going to do it today. Shut the engine off, and I'm talking to the stream, and then I'm thinking, wait a minute. What other vehicle have I ever had that had a transmission limp mode issue that only happened very rarely sometimes, that we had for months, that we tested everything we could imagine, and everything was within spec, but it was still bad? I was like, Chrysler Pacifica. Okay, what changes when you shift reverse to neutral to drive? RPM. Okay, well, if you're shifting reverse to neutral to drive, you're also shifting load, because you're enabling the solenoids in the transmission to shift. So you apply a small electric load to the alternator when it is bone cold. When it's bone cold, perhaps electronics react a little bit differently when they're cold than when they're hot.
Yeah.
Maybe. So now I'm like, the alternator having just a smooch, like just the tiniest too much AC ripple, would exactly cause that problem.
Okay, so how do you test that besides putting a new alternator in?
I'm pretty sure you have another alternator. We grabbed one at the junkyard. I just gotta find it. B, I stick the galvanometer, the Simpson, on there, and I'm gonna check it right now. I ran the engine for a second, so the alternator is gonna be quote unquote warm-ish. But I'm gonna check it right now to get a baseline and see what the AC ripple says. I've got to double check the book because I think I've forgotten how to use the AC setting on the voltometer. But I'll go grab the book. I'll check the book, and I'll get a baseline for the alternator. And then we gotta wait for either we have to wait for a cold day, itchy nose, or I could. Is the alternator in this thing? The alternator in this thing's not that hard to pull out, right? It's like.
No, it's apparently really easy.
Do we have to move anything out of the way? I think we have to disconnect the intake tube. On the
You only have to do the tube.
I think we just pull off the rubber tube on the intake, just so you can like twist the pulley through that space that is occupied by it or something.
Yeah.
So what I might do is I might take it into Joe Riley's and set it up on their tester and run it 20 times.
Yeah, it could.
Just to see if it fails that way.
Yeah.
I also have the load tester. I guess what I'll do first is I'll set up. I've been doing a lot of electrical tests on your cars lately. Yours and your dad's.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Is that like? Am I the only one that doesn't go through like periods of all of this on all of my cars fail at the same time? It's like you and McGee and RJ even had, when he had both eclipses, the same thing would fail in his cars at the same time. Yeah. I'm starting to notice more and more a pattern. Maybe the simulation can't handle the failure of more than one part at a time.
Possibly.
So my simulation is broken because I see these things, right? You observe them. If you're not observing them, Heisenberg uncertainty principle there. If you're not observing it, then it's not going to break. But because I'm here observing all of these pieces of machinery in this simulation that we're living in, the simulation's like, oh, well, stuff has to break because that's the expectation in this world. But then it's like, it can't calculate more than so many of them at a time. So it's like, oh, alternator, tick box. Because the pilot, starting issues. Your dad's car, sluggish starting and light dimming issues. Passat, very, very possibly an alternator issue.
Yeah.
What's next?
Don't know.
Not the Ford. I ain't doing that much.
No, the Ford, we're hopefully not. The Ford, cross your fingers on that one.
Yeah.
No more
I'm-
electronic
I-
issues with that stuff.
I'm crossing every single part of me that can be crossed.
Yeah.
You grab the scrot and you twist it even.
Right?
Cross your balls. So, all right, I'm gonna do some electrical tests. I'm sitting here talking to the stream, and there's not even anybody in there. But I gotta put on the show at least anyway, just so that it's the habit whenever it starts building. But I'm sitting here talking to the stream, and I just stop mid sentence. I'm like, son of a, no way. There's no way.
I mean, it's a reach. I don't know if that's really how sensitive Volkswagens are, but I guess we can.
0.25 volts of ripple on that Pacifica.
Yeah, but it's a little different.
It had 0.27. It was 0.02 volts AC over spec, and it failed. So, yes, they are that sensitive.
We can try it. I'd say it's the worst thing that happens. We put a new alternator in it.
Yeah. I don't know if that other one... I'm pretty sure I took it to storage. So, what I need to do, I guess, is get Starlink so I can do my streaming going to storage and stuff, too. It's like, stream my life.
I'm guessing your phone can't handle
AT&T in Logan, Utah?
uh,
No. I get 1 bar just about everywhere in this town.
wow.
When I'm near the tower, I think there's 1 AT&T tower in this freaking town. When I'm near the tower, I get service. I get like 3 bars.
That's shitty.
We also need to fix your freaking center console thing, armrest deal.
Yeah, that's the last thing I'm worried about.
Did we find a replacement lid?
I think we did, but right now I just wanted to, I want the car to run, then we can...
I mean, it runs just fine. It's German, there's nothing wrong with the engine.
Well, I want it to be able to be driven without me recycling the key 1,000 times.
Yeah. I have a series, and it's funny because you hook up like digital testers, and they'll never see stuff like that because they're transients and they're too fast. So what you need is, actually, I'm gonna grab the red cart, the Lenovo, the Asus, the O-scope, the voltometer, and the load tester, and I'm gonna hook all of them up simultaneously and have them running, and then I'm gonna start. Well, actually, I'm gonna. The stream is not working. Oh no. So, I'll give you a shout whenever I get things hooked up. It disappeared. Alright.
Yeah, sorry. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yep. I'll come get you whenever I got everything hooked up.
Okay.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
So yeah, sorry about the clippity clappities there for the minute. I had 77 kilobits per second. For whatever reason. I don't know. It was fine sitting on the passenger seat, and then all of the sudden, my connection just like crapped out. Half crapped out. Sunlight! Okay, gonna put the key there. We're gonna lay the scanner over here. I also want to do the spigot today, which means I gotta turn the water off here in a little bit. I'll probably bring you guys with me to do that. We're also gonna have the sun and some clickety-clack noises while I stand up and go do this and start hooking things up. Neat. Okay, so I'm gonna set you guys up on top of the Civic in the garage for just a moment. I need to go grab things. I need to grab, let's see, the O-scope's over there, the Lenovo's over there, most of the stuff's over there. I need to go inside and grab the power cable for the Asus because the battery is draining and I don't want it to die in the middle of a stream. In the middle of the stream. The stream. In a world. That was loud. Okay, I'm gonna go inside, grab that, and then I gotta do some fiddling over here, move some stuff out of the way so I can drag the thing. I will be right back. I will return in just the modally moment. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, lefty tighty. Lefty tighty? Righty tighty. I need to move the trash can. You're in my way. We're gonna put you on an engine block. Yeehaw. Move that. It's probably very loud. My apologies. I'm gonna leave the be right back in a minute message up because I'm not on screen. But I am here. OEM's here. Stops copies me. Oh, you stops copies me. I'm gonna see if I can't. I don't know if I can set this door on its side. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Alright, so I need a scope. Do not need scissors. Do not need simulator. Oh. Not need cup. You need Lenovo. Going to close the lid. I also need to unplug a new blue from external engine cord. Plug it back into this guy. Right. Okay. I also want to grab the cannon. I'm going to set up come on. Not me. Don't know me. Now this tripod, Canon has been on for like 3 days straight. Crap spec. Thought I'd turn them off. Doing that a lot lately. Thought I've been turning them off, and I'm actually doing so. Okay, so what's plugged in? Canon is off. Unplug that. 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 Unplug soldering iron. Because we don't need the soldering iron. Get jack off of the extension cord. B, man, what are you doing? Of course, it's the same damn beat. Got to be the same beat every day. Alright. Move the stuff over here. Cart down the catwalk, down the catwalk, down the catwalk. Yeah, you're in the way. Thing. Please get out of the way. Thing. Okay. Get off me. Alright, now hop in light hood. Oh, maybe it's a radiator hose we gotta move. No, it's the intake. It's the intake. It's the intake. I was looking at it wrong. We're looking at it wrong. I've been wanting to do this in a stream for a while. This dude, go away, bro. Thank you. Anyway, we're gonna lose the Logitech for a second. Because I'm gonna unplug it, put it back into our handy dandy extension generator, like so. We're gonna grab cables and mic and a Seuss, and we are going to drag them. I mean, I guess not technically drag, we're not gonna drag them. We're going to bring them over here. Okay, for right now. Second. We're going to set the cannon up. Sort of in the shade, not really, I guess. What I could do, kind of what I did on the bench in there. I don't really want the cannon sitting directly in the sun. So we can take and put the cannon right there, kind of like that, and then drop this leg. Do that, I guess. Okay. Then bring our cart just a little bit closer. Gonna need the O-scope. This is the Canon cable. I'm gonna plug him in. That is really, really not a positive interface on that thing. So plug him in there. You're gonna come over here. We're gonna put the microphone on the thing. Actually, give me a second. Anybody were interested in what I was talking about yesterday? Cold shoe on the mic. Hot shoe on the camera. See those pins in there? Those are power and data pins, so that you can actually do stuff and things. We're gonna put the Logitech back on the monitor. Sorry for the kind of blinding this, guys. My apologies. I'm going to unplug the mic for a second. No, it's on there because I'm coming and going. I'm not straight in regular in frame. I keep going and grabbing things, so I keep it up there in case anybody drops by while I'm gone. Each time I am gone, they will know that I will be back in just a moment. I am here right this second, yes, but I may or may not be in 10 seconds. As I'm trying to get all this stuff straightened out. And I kind of like doing all of this, getting everything sorted and straightened on stream, because I think there's a lot of people, they don't really realize exactly what it is to do streaming, to do recording, to do this whole brouhaha. Like, it's not just I woke up in the morning with my iPhone and I took a video and then put it on YouTube. I mean, some people do that, obviously. But stuff that is quality, the stuff that people like to watch. Not that. It's a big ordeal. It's a big affair. And while I'm not a big affair, currently, I will have the VODs in the history. If anybody asks, hey, what does it take to do all of this? Well, there you go. Also need cover. I need cover. What I'll do is we'll take all these cables, pick them up, and I will put this guy. I need another cardboard box. I have a cardboard box that the ECUs is sitting on. One for the Lenovo. Give me a second. Cardboard box. There we go. Put this guy on there. Oh. The hell?
Alrighty, folks. I was gonna start a little bit.
What the heck are you doing? Just doing things on its own. This monitor is dirty. It is very dirty. It is very, very dirty. Okay, so what I need from you, guy, is I need you. Ugh, and I need the freaking... It's too bright. It's too bright, it's too bright, it's too bright. I mean, I can see that. he was to be my friend or something. I swear, it's the same damn beat every day. Things are identical in length. Into the hole, thank you. Alright, so again, be right back. Says the window, says right there. Read the thing. I think in the effort of letting this thing cool off a little bit longer, even though it only ran for about 15 seconds, best chance possible, I'm going to set the canopy up, which is going to take a while. I don't melt the screens on the laptops and camera and all that. So, canopy. Not to be confused with canopy. One of those is a food. Or a food is stuff. Come on. Do the thing. Oops. Bye-bye, have a good time. over. Not breaking anything. I think the easy way. Guess we're gonna have to walk it. What? I think that was a sneeze. Hey! Look at that, look at that. There we go. Bam. Okay, so let's turn this guy on. And go to this guy. Maybe. Will we go to that guy? Today would be nice. No? Yeah, no idea what's in the stream right now because the preview died again. Disgruntled groan.